Welcome back, guys, to another week of Should Have Turned Left. I'm Ben, PG Canadianized on the forums, at The Canadianized on Twitter.
And after a break, I'm Riley, Spartan Riley 63 on the forums.
And today we are facing off against each other. Cassius versus High Reclaimer, right?
High Reclaimer, Silent Bob, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. So I'm bringing the same list I had last week. Cassius the Oathkeeper, Wormwood, Tree of Fate, Druid Wilder, Rotterhorn Griffin, Gorax, Warpwolf Stalker, 2 Gallows Grows, 2 Bloodweaver Night Witches, Totem Hunter, Druids with UA, 5 points of Shifting Stones, full Nis Hunters, and full Bone Grinders.
My list, a list I put together just kind of to enjoy myself a little bit in the closing hours of Mark II, has High Reclaimer, Rack solos, 1 Vassal of Menoth solo, a Paladin of the Order of the Wall, Choir of Menoth, Min unit, full unit of Holy Zealots with the Monolith Bear, a unit of Daughters of the Flame, and then 2 units of Exemplar Bastions. Both of those are full units. The Avatar of Menoth and a Guardian Warjack.
And I took the Effigy of Valor objective because I have enough. It sucks when Nis break.
I took Fuel Cache because I always take Fuel Cache.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. So Riley won the die wall.
The die roll.
The die wall.
Yeah, so I won the die roll. and decided to pick the side that had less difficult terrain for me to go through because Menoth doesn't have Pathfinder, as I mention probably every week. And especially with High Reclaimer, I kind of want to keep my army. I want to be able to place my army where I need to place them and not have to worry about them running into terrain that's going to slow them down, because it's a very placement heavy list.
Terrain that slows him down, eh?
Terrain that slows me down.
Oh, what irony. Turns out I bring some of that.
If you know what Cassius's feat is, it's not a spoiler.
I know. Cassius's feat. There's a giant forest. It's horrible for my opponent. At the same time, you do Cassius's feat at the wrong time. There's a giant forest. Oh, this actually kind of sucks. My models can't see through it either.
I always think, how would that work out? There's a giant forest. I play Legion of Everblight. I just walk through your forest.
If for some ungodly reason you do have to drop Cassius into Everblight, the tree is on the back edge of the table. And it stays on the back edge of the table.
Ravagor's getting to that tree sounds like a lot of fun, to be honest.
No. It is a horrible, horrible, horrible drop. Oh, lordy. Well, anyways, going first. Deployment's fairly simple. Put it centralized. There's terrain to trigger Prowl, so my Stalker goes across from that. Nah.
Works out well. It's funny, I'm used to running racks with casters who have a normal control area as opposed to 10. And so I set my racks down and then went, I don't think Reclaimer's going to be able to pull off of these.
Eventually.
And so I had to slide them in a little bit so that the normal deployment was going to work out a little bit there.
Yeah. Had the Totem Hunter pray the Daughters of the Flame, because honestly I thought it was the best unit. With Hellmouth, I figured I could get all of them out eventually. Bastions are slow enough, it wasn't really going to be worth it. Jack's not worth it. Paladin, nah, he's already flanking on the opposite end of where I have my Totem Hunter. So let's gamble on the unit. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the butt. Oh, right. That was my delay at the start. So start of my turn, I'm sitting there working out Daughters of the Flame threat range, wondering how far up I could actually advance and not get charged, which works out. We start 19 inches apart. They have a 9.5 inch threat range, so I just ran my Druids 8 inches and called it good.
10.5 inch threat range.
10.5 inch
speed
threat
7.
range. Right.
So which I mean isn't bad for a protectorate unit. I think they're probably our fastest infantry unit.
Yeah. With acrobatics.
The precision special rules, so even if they don't break armor, they do a point.
Yep.
Which can be a lot of fun.
Mat 6 though.
Yeah, I mean that's you're missing a lot of higher def things.
Yeah. By the way, I'm pulling a move that you are not going to be able to do in the new edition of War Machine Hordes. Cassius, charge the Druid UA. This list is so not going to do anything near what it does in the new edition of War Machine Hordes.
For any of you who haven't been keeping up on changes and whatnot that have been released by Privateer Press, you're no longer able to charge your own models.
Yeah, you're no longer able to charge friendly models.
So that's an interesting shake-up.
It's like I use that so much in this list, though. Cassius, charge a friendly model to get up to place the tree to place Cassius out of the way. I do it with Kruger. At the same time, I have pigs in this list whose whole purpose is to charge themselves and provide souls for the tree.
That being said, this list will never be played in Mark III because
no way
it won't work in Mark III.
No. No, it won't.
Of course, I feel like a lot of lists are going to be changing in Mark III.
Yeah.
I know you've already kibitzed the last 2 weeks on Mark III, but
oh, who cares?
I haven't gotten my kibitzing out about Mark III yet.
Yeah.
Because life gets in the way of me kibitzing about Mark III. So
yeah,
there.
Got one of those missed you kibitzing on all this stuff. I don't care how much we talk about Mark III or the new edition or anything like that, especially during the first round, because, hey, it's the first round, everything runs. Neither of us really have, well, I'm going first, I'm not shooting, you don't really have guns.
To be entirely honest, if you're a viewer and you look at the two warcasters put into this game, you're going to go, dang, this is going to be a boring game.
I know.
It's Cassius versus Hydra Claimer.
So Cloud City versus Druid Clouds.
This is going to be such a boring game. So maybe kibitzing can make it interesting?
Maybe? I don't know. You called it, though, and yeah, I think it was in the second round or something. Behold, the two lists fighting against each other that don't want to see each other.
Yeah, the two lists that don't want to look at each other. That's essentially what this is, ladies and gents.
Yes. There are clouds
everywhere.
From both sides.
God, they're everywhere.
And they both have the same effect.
Yeah, really. It's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is, but we both know, at the same token, we both know how to play around it.
Oh, it's totally true because this is one of my tournament pairings. I mean, not this exact list. I kind of twiddled a bit with it, but Hydra Claimer is one of my tournament lists, and so I know how to play around clouds because I know how to play with clouds because I know all the things that clouds do, especially these clouds because these clouds are great.
Oh, the -2. It's so good.
It's a lot of fun. The -2. It'll be interesting to see how lists like this evolve in Mark III because of the terrain rules and things like that. So you'll notice.
Oh gosh.
You'll notice me towing some of my my daughters here into the cloud to try and give them the conceal or whatever.
Concealment. Yeah. Which
against this list, it didn't really matter because you didn't really have any shooting.
One of your daughters in the new edition would actually have concealment.
One of them would, yes. The other ones would not. And so it'll be interesting kind of to see how the new rules affect lists like this where I mean, obviously the main party trick of Hydra Claimer is I'm going to walk forward and you can't look at me.
Yeah, which that's still going to be fine with clouds.
Which, yeah, that'll still be fine. But the interesting thing is
they have alluded to a new, like there's going to be new ways of, or who does and it does not ignore clouds and forests is going to change.
I can dig that. I've seen several people kibitzing a little bit about changes to like True Sight or to Eyeless Sight or things like that.
Eyeless Sight changing, totally okay with that.
Oh, definitely. But like not ignoring certain things that it ignores now, and shifting slightly. I think that could be really interesting. And for all you Legion players out there, that might make you a little bit unhappy.
I play Legion. I don't mind.
care. But, I don't know, it could be interesting. It's definitely going to be, like everybody has said already, sorry for the redundant statement, it's going to be a mix-up, and it'll be very interesting. Can't say I'm super-duper stoked about it, but I am interested to see where it goes.
Yeah. Agreed. Still, yeah, we're through 2 and 1. I'm starting turn 2, figuring out what I'm doing. I looked, I'm like, oh, this is... No, never mind. I'm looking at what's going on. It's like, okay, I can advance the druid towards the paladin. Was wondering if I could manage to try to get an early kill on it. Looked at the range, thought, nope, not good enough. I am going to pop my feet this turn. Hey, it's Cassius. It's a giant forest. If you didn't already know that.
Now you do. It's a giant forest.
Yeah.
Which, conveniently enough, it's 10 inches. Which is the same as the control area of my caster.
Woo!
Don't have to ask to measure it. It's pretty great.
Yeah. At the same time, though, it's a giant forest. It's against Menoth. If this is not feat turn, there is not going to be a good feat turn.
It's true. And all game mechanics aside, pardon my silly kibitz here for a second.
Wow, I totally missed my die tray.
You definitely did. But pardon my rant here, but Cassius creates a giant forest.
Yeah.
Menoth is all about fire.
Yeah, you can't burn that forest down.
Why not? Why does Menoth not just light the forest on fire? Like that's all we do is light things on fire.
Because magic?
Doesn't matter. It's all wood. I mean, obviously game mechanics aside, like that's the way it works and you can't like build those things into a game. But I feel like in real life, Cassius would make a forest, and then whatever the opposing warcaster is from Menoth would just be like, I have 3 repenters.
Yeah, no.
This is gonna be fun, and then all of a sudden, all of the circle forces just proceed to light on fire.
Yeah,
because
that would kind of suck.
Because we wouldn't walk into the forest, we would just stand there and light it on fire and laugh as we do it.
You know, I think there are enough druids that are immune to the elements we could stop and control the fire.
You never
putting
know.
It to our landscape.
I mean, you never know.
I mean, we do have one particular a-hole who we know can summon floods.
It's true. But if that particular fellow is here, then you're not making a forest.
Also true. Unless we're playing multicaster.
We've already had this conversation.
I know.
Nobody plays multicaster.
I know.
Nobody.
Speaking of balance going out the window, playing multicaster, there's one that I always dream of doing. And that is Cassius with Bloody Barnabas. Create a giant forest. The forest says if you're knocked down, you take a point of damage.
And then Bloody Barnabas knocks it. Well, I mean, you could do the exact same thing with Krios.
Yes, but Barnabas actually works for Circle.
I guess that's true. That's true.
In a team tournament that doesn't care, then that would work. But in a legitimate two-caster, two-lock list,
But
I could bring Barnabas and Cassius.
you could. It's true.
And all single wound infantry just gone.
Nobody plays that, though.
I know. There's very good reason.
Privateer
Bullcrap
Press.
this exists.
If you watch this video, why did you write rules for double caster? Why? I don't understand.
If somebody from Privateer Press watches this video, that's kind of awesome.
It could be.
I'll take it.
But I'm just saying, why did you write rules for double caster? I mean, you could have made that rule book that much smaller by not putting all of that in there.
Yeah. I mean, putting the Merc minion, they will work for this and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, this Warcaster will work for this, and it doesn't matter. And in like at the beginning of the book, at least in Mark II anyways, they have like, here's like your 15-point game, and your 35-point game, and your 50-point game, and then they have like 4 or 5 more points that you can play, and nobody...
75, 100,
Well,
150,
I guess technically...
Unbound!
I guess technically 75 gets played. Because the
Technically,
semifinals
yes,
and the
'cause Iron
finals
Gauntlet-
rounds and the Iron Gauntlet runs a
Gauntlet rounds,
75
Yeah.
point round. But other than 75 in 2 rounds in a single tournament, nobody plays those point values. So why do we have them in a rule book?
Yep. Why do we have him in SR?
I'll tell you why we have those in a rule book. For the people who stay at home and don't go out and play with people who actually know how to play the game, and instead like to play the game with themselves and play it wrong. They play like 100 points because they probably all came over from Warhammer 40k and like to throw as many models on the table as they can. There you go. There's my feelings on the matter.
That is the game that shall not be named. Come on.
I thought that was Age of Sigmar.
No, that's play if you don't have a vagina.
It's a true statement for all of you who haven't read the rules. You actually get an in-game bonus from being of the masculine persuasion.
Yeah, if you have a better mustache or a more magnificent beard, or if you're a total asshole.
Right. Back
Anyways.
to War Machine.
Lost all of our Games Workshop viewers. Oh well. Sorry, not sorry.
We're on
Worst.
my turn now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Worst thing about the new edition of War Machine Hordes. Analyzing this game, not gonna help us too much in the future.
It's entirely true. I feel like both of these lists will probably be probably just won't work that well in the coming edition.
In the meantime, they're fun to play.
Yeah, in the meantime, they're definitely very fun to play. I feel like this particular matchup was a bit of a strange matchup just because it's
Cloudwall v. Cloudwall.
Cloudwall. They call me Torrig and I say Cloudwall.
And suddenly Kador enters the flank.
Right.
Dang it, Miranda, where are you?
But in a tournament setting, which granted this is not a tournament setting, you would not see High Reclaimer dropped into Cassius.
Who would you drop? Somebody with errants?
I would drop somebody with errants, which the unfortunate thing is in my tournament pairing with this, neither of my pairings have errants.
That seems like a problem.
It's true. My tournament pairing with this is my Fiora 2 list. And so, I mean, you can technically put errants with High Reclaimer. I mean...
Yeah, I'd still drop Cassius.
I mean, I go on and off between which of my, 2 tournament pairings I should go for, because my tournament pairings are the Fiora 2, High Reclaimer, or Krios 1, Krios 2. And in Krios 1 and Krios 2, both of those have errants.
Yeah.
And so, I mean...
I don't like your Krios 2 list.
I don't think anybody likes my Krios 2 list except for me.
Sign up a good list.
It makes lots of people sad whenever at the beginning of my turn they have an army and at the end of my turn they don't have an army.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. I particularly like running it against Legion players because they're so I need my beasts because I'm Legion and I run 7 heavies in a battle group.
And then Krios 2 goes.
And then Krios 2 goes,
Cute.
everybody auto hits and gets an extra attack. And at the end of the turn, 4 heavies later,
Yeah.
you no longer have an army. And Krios 2 is standing there going, well, guess I better stand at the back of the table the rest of the game because I've used my usefulness.
For proof of this, go back and rewatch Riley versus Krios 2 versus Chromac 2.
That was my Krios 1.
Or that was Krios 1? That was 1?
Krios 1 where he knocks down.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't. Either way.
But yeah.
Either Krios, when heavies disappear, bad things happen.
When heavies disappear in hordes, bad things happen. They're going to try... I mean, they've tried to remedy that in MK3 with the blood bag pull or whatever the heck it's called. I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't remember what the rule is actually called.
Spirit Bond?
There we go. I always think
Blood bag pull?
Yeah. When I saw that rule, legitimately what hit my mind, for all of you who have seen the latest Mad Max, is the beast dies, and so they just hook themselves up to the beast and profit off of the fact that it's still dead but still is slightly warm.
All right.
And so they're just hey, I'm still going to pull something from you. So that tried to remedy it.
Yeah. You know, we should. For those who actually do want to watch the game, we should probably pay more attention and see what's going on.
So
zealots are chucking bombs into the giant forest that is Wormwood.
Zealots are chucking bombs. I'm measuring, just seeing do I have line of sight things right here.
Druids are elementally immune, and you actually hit that
one.
one.
I box cars and hit somebody. I can't hurt the zealots, but I'm trying to clear some stuff out.
Yeah, you light Wormwood on fire.
I light Wormwood on fire, which doesn't do a whole lot.
Hooray, Ghost Shield.
Yeah, it kind of whatever. I kill some of the Nis.
You actually killed a lot of the Nis.
I did. I mean, that's the thing with their only armor 11. So I mean, even I'm not fervored right now. So I mean, I'm still needing sixes to kill him. So 52% of the time I kill.
It's 64.
64. Okay. I mean, whatever it is. I don't math the statistics very well, but I mean, I'm killing more often than I'm not.
Oh, speaking of statistics, go to my Twitter at the Canadianized, or go to Trollblood Scrum or whatever. Frank got bored one day and created a program where you can enter how many dice, what number you need to hit, and it calculates your odds of a regular roll, with a reroll, undersign's importance, or star-crossed.
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to Nerds.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
Now, who knows how long it'll be useful, because we don't know if any of those spells are getting changed in.
Star-crossed exists the exact same.
Does it? Do we have?
I think so.
Do we have a quote
or
saying that is the truth?
We have the back of Wrong Guy's card.
I suppose we do. You're right.
Yeah.
That works out. Do we know Signs Importance works the exact same way?
No.
Everything has changed, my friend.
We also don't know if rerolls work the same way. Because currently the way rerolls work under S&P or Starcross is you don't add. It goes to step 2 of the roll chart, so there's no dice added. So there's no dice taken away, so you more or less trump both of those abilities.
It's true. It's true.
Great against Starcrossed, not so great for Signs Importance.
Yeah.
But still, Wrong Guy has Starcrossed.
You know, I feel like that makes sense, though, to be entirely honest, with his fluff.
Yeah. How do you like the thought of Crix having Starcrossed?
I mean, I don't. I'm just saying, but I mean, it's not surprising. We've already had this conversation. Private to Precious needs to come out and say that they love Crix. But but I mean, looking at the fluff of Wrong Eye, like he's all about that like bad voodoo magic or whatever.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like he just put like a bad buju spell on you or something like that, and now you can't you can't hit the broadside of a barn with a dodgeball.
Oh, this is fun stuff for me coming up right now, though.
It's true. So
just saying,
you're about to see something really unfortunate happen to a bunch of Greater Destiny zealots, which
this is so not going to work in the new edition.
Well, my guess is Greater Destiny won't exist in the new edition either.
Greater Destiny might, but it's just the fact that I teleport a leader of one stone, then I shifting it, I have it in a cloud so I can see it, and Hellmouth. Oh, yeah, Hellmouth and
proceed
is such
to Hellmouth
an amazing spell.
half the unit away.
Yeah.
But my guess is the reason why like Greater Destiny won't be a thing, because unit attachments are FAU.
Oh yeah.
Which means I can run 2 units, 3 units of zealots, which are
all with monolith bearers.
Which it's 10 points with the monolith bearer to run the full unit.
Yeah.
Which I mean that would come out to what, 20 points in the new pointing scaling or whatever that is. So I mean
60 of your 75.
60 of my 75. That's not terrible considering I'm going to have a 30-point battle group.
Yeah.
I can run my 2 heavies that I need to run with power up.
Models.
Yeah, models are just hearing. But I'm sitting here saying, Greater Destiny ain't going to exist that way anymore.
No.
Because I can have 60 points of my army be immune to you for a turn.
Yeah. By the way, you know the best change I can think to Hellmouth to balance it out? It has to hit an enemy model in order to suck things in and create the AoE.
Yeah, I could definitely say that would be...
Oh, targeting beacons are amazing.
That would be great. I mean that's partially why I feel MK3 might do some good stuff there, is because it's limiting a lot of the ways that you can just neutralize somebody's...
Yep.
Like one trick pony or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean... the rules bloat is one thing I am looking forward to not having anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, granted,
did you notice that magical weapon icon has actually changed?
is that the one? Does it have all the stars around it now? Is that the one
Yeah.
that it is? Yeah, it's like blessed and magic are like the same thing. Magical weapon are the same thing. Now.
Blessed is now. So the icon for blessed is the icon we currently have for magical weapon.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
when we saw the Eras 2 preview card, at the bottom it says, "Did you notice our new icons for blessed and disruption?"
Yep.
But
I'd see
then
that.
we got to see Denegra 1's card, and she's got the 4 stars on it.
Mhm.
I was like, wait,
Yeah, because
did
she
she
has a
just
magic
lose
weapon.
magical weapon and gain blessed?
No,
What?
no.
So go into the forums and get it confirmed that, yes, she keeps magical weapon. No, she does not have blessed. So magical weapon has changed. The
Yeah,
icon.
definitely.
That's not going to be confusing.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
We as a community get so excited about the fact that icons change on a card.
It's more that we're so used to one icon that the icon remains exactly the same and now means something completely different. It's gonna be annoying.
Edition
think of how
changes,
many-
everyone. Edition changes.
Yeah, think of how many Mark 1 artifacts still remain around from people that have played that.
True.
There are going to be so many Mark 2 artifacts.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering what I'm going to do with all my Mark II cards.
Keep the Warcasters and Warlocks.
Well, yeah. Keep the Warcasters and Warlocks. But,
Roll back, who's the boss? Woo! Keeping Kruger too.
right. So, yeah. And who's the boss? I mean, I don't know if I have any casters that would be... Actually, one thing that I'm really excited, because I saw one thing that they pointed out, the Private Press, that they're trying to make it to where nobody has a dead feat.
Yeah.
One model that I'm super excited to actually see that happen on.
Mozart?
No.
Oh.
Prime Severius. His feat does nothing against hordes because it says focus specifically.
I thought there was one part of his feat that affects hordes.
You lose Arc Node.
No, that doesn't affect hordes.
And so I'm sitting here saying...
all of hordes is channeling.
And so I'm sitting here saying, if his feat becomes viable against hordes, and his spell list stays semi-decent, which I'm going to assume it does, that could be a lot of fun.
I am still 90% sure that his feat has more relevance to hordes than Mozart's does to War Machine.
I mean, it may. I mean, it definitely may. But I'm just saying, I mean, there are, for my own specific faction, that could be something I would love to see, because Prime Severius is considered one of our, like, top 3 casters.
Yeah.
Because Eye of Menoth is fantastic.
There you go. For 1 round, enemy models cannot cast spells. So, excuse me, it has more effect than Mozart's.
Okay, yeah, it has...
It's not one you can cast, you can use every turn, even on your opponent's turn, and activate it, and still have it do nothing.
Still doesn't do anything. But I would love to see that feat get balanced out between the hordes and the War Machine.
Yeah, like
Because-
Venethrax?
Woo!
Holy crap.
Woo! Venethrax, my man. Woo!
Oh!
That
Oh, man.
all of the sudden, Crix gains another really good caster.
Yeah, there's somebody I've got to try to pull back into the game for Mark III, and she is going to be happy about the changes to Venethrax.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Mark III, if you see Venethrax,
Run.
cry. Don't even run. Just cry.
So, anybody for Hordes knows how much of a dick punch Mozart's is? Guess what? That chunk of it got moved onto Venethrax. You can't leech.
Yeah, and see, that's brutal. Because if you can't
Especially with
leech-
all the lowered thresholds.
Oh, mercy sakes alive. So you just have a bunch of, like, frenzying beasts running everywhere. And then you have to cut to get any of your fury back. I mean, that's brutal.
Actually, unless they change it, you can't cut either. Currently, cutting is defined as leeching from your life force, which is why Mozart's feat is such a dick punch to Hordes.
That's straight
Like,
beautiful.
Mozart feats, and unless a war beast dies, Fury is more or less locked in place.
Which, to be honest, the fluff of Venethrax, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Because he's built entirely to fight, essentially, Legion of Everblight. That's why he was built. And so it makes sense that that's what goes down.
When Abby went epic, Venethrax is scary.
I'm sitting here thinking about this now, because, I mean, I've seen it, but I've been doing other things. Venethrax becomes the ultimate Crix drop into Legion.
Yeah.
Legion loves to run their battle groups. They're not going to be as good as they were, but they're still going to be better than everybody else.
Yep.
All of a sudden, 3/4 of your army can't do anything?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That can suck for Circle, too.
And Shepherds only pull 1 off, as opposed to just whipping 5 off?
I know. You know, that is a good change. However, Scorn caught in the crosshairs again. You're caught in the crossfire.
Ugh, and we've already talked about this tonight as well. About my peeved feelings and frustrations with Privateer Press, because they have obviously taken the nerf to balance road, which for factions like Crix, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Because trying to buff everything to Crix's level would be outrageous. But there are factions like Scorn, or like Khador, or Menoth, or if you can think of another one, leave it in the comments, that are pretty middle of the road.
Minions!
I feel like Minions and Mercs, though, are more like kind of down there with Ret, where they're not really viable, and so they're having to buff them to get them better.
Yep.
And so, but there's factions like Khador, Scorn, and Menoth that are middle of the road, that can be competitive, but aren't a part of the Power 4, aren't a part of the top 4, but aren't terrible like Ret and Mercs. And so
Ret and Minions.
They're sitting here
Merc still has Thor Earthbreaker.
Okay. 1 caster.
And Cephalix.
Okay. And Quasi-Crix.
Hey, but, you know what? There's your pairing.
But, I mean, I sit here and I say, why are you going to nerf these factions that are middle of the road and might be competitive with the top 4 after you nerf the top 4? Like, I'm not saying they will be competitive. Like, they might be competitive.
Everything is competitive. Okay, every faction is competitive. Let me rephrase that. Everything? No. Just no.
Yes, I will say every faction is competitive, but it is very clear the levels of competitiveness. I mean, Privateer Press, for crying out loud, you pointed this out to me earlier tonight.
Yep.
They made the Stormwall for Signar to make Signar more competitive, and unashamedly said so.
Yep.
Said, we made the Stormwall the greatest colossal ever because we wanted Signar to be better.
Yep. Signar wasn't showing up in tournaments like they thought they should, so they gave them something bonkers to do it.
That's what happens when you're closet Crix lovers.
Buff up one of the hardest counters to Crix. Oh, man, I'm looking forward to all of Haley's temporal bullshits disappearing. All 3 Haleys, all of them have temporal bullshits.
I'm looking forward to just seeing all of the Haley players cry salty tears because all of a sudden Haley isn't broken.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she'll still be a straight bleep to play because, I mean, fluff-wise, that's the way it's supposed to go. Haley is only the most talented magician in the Iron Kingdoms with the exception of possibly Denegra, who is her twin sister.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense.
Possibly.
But, like, of course she should be a B to play. She should be a good caster.
Yeah.
Just not that good.
She shouldn't be. Every list pairing is Haley and.
I feel like that is something that Signar could do a lot with because there are a lot of casters in Signar that are a lot of fun to play. I have played games with, like, Kara Sloan. Dear God, Kara Sloan is fun to play.
Yes.
That is so much fun.
Ooh. more reasons why this list is totally not going to work in the new edition.
We're coming up to some interesting stuff.
Yeah. At the start of this turn, I looked at High Reclaimer being base to base with the objective going, can I kill him? Can I go for Janktastic? Cassius has so many stupid... Hellmouth is overpowered. Can we say that?
Yes.
Hellmouth equals retarded threat ranges.
Well, and to be honest, part of this isn't going to work too because of the whole, now you have to be completely within your stones. Like, stones are just retarded anyways, because I can sit here and have a centimeter, a millimeter of my base. Sorry, we use inches in this game. Like 1/64 inches of my base inside the
all the base sizes are millimeters. You're good.
But I can have it barely sitting inside the stones. Oh, and guess what? I get to set him essentially,
10 inches up.
10 inches up the field, and it's like, that's retarded.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. I can just sit here and set my best piece on the table 10 inches.
This is why I'm hoping it's completely within 10 inches and not completely within 8, because double teleport already got taken away. Oh, man.
Completely within 8 just ruins Circle's day entirely.
It hurts us even more. It hurts. I don't like it. Anyways, I'm activating the druids because I need the Gorax to go up in Primalist Stalker now that I know. I teleported him first to check if he would actually be in range to get drug in by the objective. Because the way Riley has it set up, I cannot see the High Reclaimer. At all. In order for my Stalker to actually swing on him, I need to clear the objective. Somehow. Anyways, now we start seeing bullshit happen. Hit the objective, and this is one of my favorite things to do with Cassius. Hit a model. Drag my Stalker closer to what he wants to swing at. I boosted damage on Reclaimer because I could. Whole bunch of die rolls to see what damage can go elsewhere. Nothing. I don't think even your Vassal survived.
Vassal survived the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some unfortunate dice rolls, and then some fortunate dice rolls, and then some broken stuff.
The only unfortunate dice roll is if I roll snakes on to hit the objective.
I mean, that's
everything
true.
else I'm pretty cherry on.
It's true. It's true. I mean, the more and more I looked at this, I was sitting here saying, like, I might have another turn, and then I looked at this and went,
yeah.
Nah, son, not a chance. I'm just going to sit here and watch as a man who hasn't spoken in 30 years gets beaten to the ground by a giant wolf.
With a sword.
With a sword.
Yeah.
A sword, ladies and gents.
Oh, hey, Enliven. I did damage to Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar enlivens.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, and how great would Enliven be if it was followed by an attack at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so fantastic.
No, I hurt my Stalker to get a free attack like that.
Yeah, you hurt me. I walk around and then proceed to hit you with a PAL Strength 21.
Mold Protective Fit on a...
Mold Protective Fit on the Avatar?
Actually, it's not really Protective Fit because I gotta hurt the Avatar in order to...
It's true. But I mean, that'd be a lot of fun. I mean, that'd be fun.
Yep. And Reclaimer is dead.
Yep, Reclaimer disappears. That's the game.
Yep, Claw killed the objective.
Sword.
Stalker Sword can now see Reclaimer. Stalker Sword to face.
There it was. There it is. Game
my
over.
list is... I have no problem admitting my list is bullshit.
Yes. I mean, I wasn't
my list pairing is bullshit.
I mean, I wasn't going to complain about it during the game because I try really hard to not be one of those players that just sits there while the game is going on and be like, this is crap. This is crap. I've played a guy at our local game store the last couple of times I've been there who's played the same Jarl list in a row, and he just rolls tough rolls like nobody's business. And so I'll just sit here and pour damage into him, and he's just like, all right, tough. Okay. I have Creel Warriors. They don't fall down, and I'm like, You too, buddy. You too. But I try hard not to say that lists are BS while I'm playing them. I'll totally call them BS afterwards.
Yeah.
But in the moment,
flat out, I am playing my list pairing that I have for the express purpose of there is no freaking way these are going to work in Mark III.
Because I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that was a negative play experience. That was about as negative a play experience as, well, that's not true. You want to see a negative play experience? Go back a week. Go watch Gareth Blade of Retribution versus Cassius the Oath Keeper or whatever, and watch a bottom of one assassination where the poor Retribution player watches as all of his hopes and dreams disappear. That's a negative play experience, ladies and gentlemen.
When I can win without activating my whole army.
That is a negative play experience, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't even matter. Get out of town.
Yeah. Turns out Cassius played right, all that fun stuff. Kind of bullshit.
I mean...
And then, of course, my list pairing is Kruger 2 with double Crow Creators, which, again, is total BS.
Which, I mean, I feel like Kruger 2, just Kruger, like, fluff-wise, is like...
Good lord.
Comparable to Fiora in Menoth. His rules in the game are awesome, but fluff-wise, nobody likes him. And nobody likes her.
Yeah.
They're both just jerks who are proud and think they're way better than everybody else. Which, rules-wise, they kind of are way better than everybody else. But... Well, that's not true.
That. One of them is.
Kind of. But,
Lord of the Dons.
Dude. Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyways, Kruger just makes me laugh because he's so...
Arrogant?
He's so arrogant.
Overpowered?
I mean, and the thing is, he's so freaking strong.
Yeah.
Like, as a warlock, he's terrifying.
Fluff and table.
But he's so arrogant that he can't see past his own nose. That he puts things in motion and then doesn't realize what he's putting in motion, and it proceeds to just screw over the entirety of the Iron Kingdoms.
Yeah.
And he's left sitting here going, that's not quite what I planned to have happen. What am I going to do now?
So is that what a Mennonite accent sounds like?
It might be. Actually, no, because I don't know how to speak Solese. Because that's what all... yeah.
There it is.
But, no, I have no clue how to speak Solese. Which,
neither do I.
To be entirely honest, apparently Solese is just the same as Caspian.
Huh.
They just, go and read the Iron Kingdoms RPG, like fluff.
Okay.
The Mennites just changed the name of it because they could.
Okay, then.
They speak the exact same languages as the Signarites, or Signarans.
Well, that doesn't mean accents don't have to change.
Which, I mean, the accent is obviously changes a little bit, but I mean, it's essentially the same language. It's like the difference between Canadian English and American English.
Well, with American...
There's a couple A's, and instead of saying tomorrow, you say tomorrow.
Tomorrow, eh? Gotta go oot in a boot and shovel this snow.
I'm going to tell you about that tomorrow, eh? Dear God, be quiet.
Hey. Gotta try the poutine.
I have Canadian relatives.
I know. Still, with American English, think of how many accents and dialects are inside that.
Oh no, it's entirely
Howdy,
true.
y'all.
It's entirely true. But I mean, I just think it's hilarious that the Mennites changed the language to an entirely different name. Like this isn't like this is
fair.
Like this is Signarin Caspian, and this is Solese Caspian. It's like, no, this is Solese. It's an entirely different language. No, it's not. I understand you Mennites and y'all like high and mighty and because your god is like the first ever god to come all around, unless you're the trolls, and then instead it's Dunya. But whatever.
Who created Menoth? Actually, Menoth is the third god, according to that.
I guess that's true because Dunya was the first god essentially, and then the Devourer.
She created the Devourer worm to bring death into the cycle to actually bring a form of completion to it.
And then she
terrible,
made
terrible
Menoth.
things
Yeah.
happen. And
But as far as the humans are concerned, because Dunia didn't make humans.
no,
Like, Menoth created the humans.
yes,
And there is not a single religion out there that disputes that. Even the
Yep.
Morrowinds.
yep,
The Morrowinds accept that Menoth created humans, and they even accept the supremacy of Menoth. That's the hilarious thing about the Morrowind religion.
right?
They accept that Menoth is a higher god than Morrow. They just choose to follow Morrow. Like, even Morrow said it. Morrow was like, oh, yeah, totally.
yeah,
Menoth is way stronger than I am, without a doubt.
yeah.
I mean,
Well-
the thing is, Morrow cares about the human beings. Menoth is too busy going and beating a giant worm to death.
Exactly. But at the same time, Morrow and Thamar came so far after the creation of the Devourer Worm, the Beast of All Shapes, and Menoth.
It's true. They
You
came kind of
can't
late to the
deny
party.
it. Yeah,
Um,
but they did.
They did. I mean, it is. It is a very interesting. I mean, being somebody who enjoys history, this kind of
Yeah.
thing, intrigues me a little bit. But it is interesting to see kind of how that turned out. That Morrow and the Morrowinds were all like, oh yeah, totally. Menoth is definitely like a higher god. Like is more powerful than Morrow. It like created
Yep.
human beings. Like Menoth created Morrow. We have no qualms with that. And the Menoth, like the Solis Menoth, are just like, no, you must worship Menoth. And it's just,
We can't acknowledge his power and be
What?
fine.
we acknowledge that he's better than Morrow. We just choose
Yeah.
to like Morrow better because Morrow actually cares. Because even though I'm a faithful Menite, Menoth cares
is like
nothing.
an absent father.
Yeah, Menoth cares nothing about humans. Like,
Yeah.
he gave them the four things, like the wall, the fire, the scroll, and the quill, or whatever it was that he gives them.
You know more about fluff than I do.
And then proceeded to walk off and go have a great time at Arcane.
Yep.
So,
I'm gonna go hunt this worm who tried to do horrible, horrible things to Dunia. Actually, not tried to.
So essentially,
Did
what
do horrible,
you can
horrible
tell
things.
me, Menoth is just the angry younger brother trying to take revenge on his older brother who did really, really bad things to their single mother.
Accurate.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Seems accurate.
The fluff of the Iron Kingdoms explained in modern day terms.
Yeah, whoever writes this stuff is a little messed up in the head, methinks.
I would say they're a little messed up in the head, but it follows every
Who's not?
it follows every mythology known to mankind.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, every mythology has parents doing terrible things to children and children doing terrible things to parents.
Yeah.
And siblings doing terrible things to siblings. Anybody who knows Greek mythology knows that. I mean, dear God, that's so messed up.
And the butt of so many jokes.
Oh, without
Zeus
a doubt.
cannot keep it in his pants.
Even when he doesn't have pants.
Yup.
Doesn't matter if he's a
Zeus
swan,
cannot
doesn't
keep
matter
it
if
to
he's a
himself.
bull, doesn't matter if he's
Yep.
just like a shining, shimmering golden light.
He
Speaking
is
of that-
gonna impregnate that woman.
How does that even work? When you're a shining, shimmering golden light, you don't have like a corporeal form. That doesn't make sense. The laws
Doesn't
of
have to make sense. It's magic.
I guess it's true. Whatever. That's what it is. So if you've made
So-
it this far in the video,
Yeah. Any other? I don't know. This week doesn't seem to be as huge on spoilers.
not really.
'Cause
We've
we had
had
the Crix thing, which
the
that
first
looked
of the faction in-depths have come out, and it was Crix.
yeah. Speed debuffs no longer prevent charging. That's freaking awesome.
That's huge. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody except Crix will like that.
Yeah. It's funny in the forums. People are already like, "Iron Flesh, this is awesome!" And then, Agel, the quartermaster, came in and said, "That's if oh, you think Iron Flesh is gonna stay the same thing as it was, if it even exists at all."
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the big things too. Is that we're taking a lot of the spoilers,
Yep.
and placing them into an MK2 context as opposed to a Mark III context.
Yeah.
Because who knows?
We don't have the Mark III context though.
Exactly. And so who knows how things are going to work out. Like, I know being a Menite, any Menite watchers out there, battle has been nerfed. And the forums and the Facebook group and all of that are aflame with people who are like, it's whatever, or people who are like, this is the worst. Me personally, I'm kind of in the middle because I expected Choir to get nerfed because Choir were definitely broken. I mean, they were one of those units that is an auto-include in essentially every single list. At the same time, it kind of bugs me because, now our shooting is...
Yeah, your range game has been reduced because you have to aim to get the +2 to hit. You no longer get +4.
It's true. Well, and the thing is too, I look at this, and granted, this is something that I'm going to complain about and looking at it from a subjective view,
goodness,
or an objective view, I should say.
Go back into
I can no longer battle and then assault forward and still be Rat 7 with the Reckoner.
Yes. This is kind of a good thing.
This is a good thing for everybody else, entirely. Yes. But this goes back to the point that I was making earlier. Menoth is not a hyper-competitive faction. We have Brian White, who makes Menoth look like the best thing on the face of the planet. Yeah. But Brian White is about 10 times smarter than I am. And so,
not sure about smarter, but more experienced in this game, yeah.
But, it's... And so, you've taken a faction that is not hyper-competitive and kind of killed one of its iconic factions. That being said, I expected it to happen. I expected Choir to get nerfed in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and you did get buffs out, or you did get map buffs out of it.
For the Guardian.
Yeah, you still got map buffs. There is no...
For the Guardian and a Jack that we have yet to even see sprues for. Because the Indictor is technically on the Guardian chassis, but we have yet to see a sprue for it.
Do you really want the Indictor?
If it's good in MK3, then yes. I would love to have the Indictor. If it has an inch reach, which it will, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Trying to browse the forums right now is not bringing much of anything to try to refresh what happened this week.
But besides the speed debuffs not causing problems, that's really the only super big spoiler.
Curse does not give a threat range buff. Also, thank God.
That's true. I've been saying since I got into the game. Granted, I haven't been in the game as long as some
others.
You are
not the only person that has complained about.
But I have been saying that Curse is stupid. Curse is stupid. It's similar to things like the Stormcaller's Lightning Bolt, where it's just... Granted, Curse was even worse because there wasn't even a skill check. It was just like, that looks like you're within 8 inches. Guess what? You just got cursed, buddy. And it's just like, I hate you. I hate you. This is the worst.
Yeah.
So I am glad that there are going to be changes coming to that because I have complained about that, especially when I got into the meta. It seemed like we had a pretty Crix heavy meta. I think when I got in, we had like 4 or 5 Crix players out of the 9 people that played. And so it was like I played Crix every single week.
Or Circle
because I played you.
Yep.
But and so I just sat there and was like, I hate this. This is the worst. So those are good things there.
Says the guy who complained about not playing against a War Machine faction for so long.
Is a true statement.
Crix is War Machine.
It's true. I complained about not playing against War Machine. I guess in my mind, which I'll attempt to justify this slightly. In my mind, Crix functions so differently than the majority of other War Machine factions out there.
Yeah.
That you have War Machine, you have Hordes, and you have Crix. And Crix players are just kind of their own thing. Because they use War Machine mechanics, but none of the things
nobody swarms like them.
None of the things that were characteristic of War Machine were characteristic of Crix.
Yeah.
Crix is I'm going to play a 50-point army, drop 100 models onto the board, and then proceed to kill you with spells. It's like, what?
Yeah.
No!
What? Like, we counted it out before our game started. It's like, okay, what was it, 82 models on the table?
You were at 43, and I was at 39. So yeah, we came to 82 models on the table, and we didn't even match one Crick's army.
Yeah.
I mean,
Prime Scar, 30 Bane Knights, 30 Mecthrals.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so, granted, that is definitely their fluff.
Yeah.
Like, Privateer Press admits that. Their fluff is, I'm going to throw a crap ton of models on the table and just throw them at you.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Every single game has something like that, where it's just, I'm going to put a bunch of cheap models on the table and throw them at you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Crook Raiders at 8 points, they qualify.
Nobody gets into War Machine to play with infantry models. Everybody plays War Machine to play with big, stompy death robots. That's why I got into War Machine, because I saw big, stompy death robots and said, I want to play with big, stompy death robots.
Yep.
And then found out that there's a thing called infantry. And even then, I picked the faction that likes to run big, stompy death robots.
Yep, one of the two.
One of the two. And the other one doesn't even have stompiness.
No.
Because the other one, they just
kind of float around, or
big floaty death robots.
Have multiple legs and
have mandibles.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so, that is the other thing. Everybody already knows this, but Power Booster makes it where big stompy death robots are like a thing now. That makes me happy. I want to see...
Yes and no.
I want to see my Crusader tangling with like an Ironclad. I can tell you the Ironclad will win that fight like 9 times out of 10, but still...
In Mark II.
Even in Mark III, I would think so, because the Quake hammer still knocks it down.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. A knockdown
Chaos
Crusader
is provided he keeps his feet.
Which I think he will.
Good Lord, if he keeps... Oh, yeah, I guess the tough thing was this week, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Was that this week or last week?
I don't remember.
For any of you who don't know, there's been a change in the rule on tough. Now, tough only works if you're standing up. Yeah. If you get knocked down, you lose tough. Yeah. Which is great, because instead of sitting here pouring 4 attacks into the same darn model and watching him tough all 4 times, you can say, I knock you down, then I'm going to step on your throat and laugh about it.
Yeah. And because Sorce's feats are staying the same, I would not be surprised if Krios or at the very least Krios 1, his feat stays the same, which, that's funny against tough.
Which suddenly becomes the bane of every troll list.
Yeah.
Because unless you've got Creo Warriors, which don't fall down, which that's assuming that stays the same. All of this is assumption.
Yeah, Creo Warriors we don't know. Champions, we do know when base to base they have steady.
Okay. So champions base to base have steady. Creo Warriors maybe don't get knocked down. The rest of your army, besides your Gargantuan, I knock you down, and it don't matter. Do Gargantuans have tough?
Nope.
I was going to say, that would be ridiculous.
Not even Troll War Beasts have tough.
I guess that makes sense, though. That makes sense, not putting tough on a War Beast.
I don't
think
there is tough on any War Beast or
battle group
model outside of Warlocks or Warcasters.
I think you're right. Because I was going to say, that would be absolutely ridiculous. I poured, 40, 50, 60-something boxes worth of damage into your Gargantuan.
Oh, that one's still there!
And then you roll a 5. And I proceed to flip the table and walk away.
Oh, no, I just thought of a very good reason why War Beast cannot have tough. Because you fill up... you fill up all the damage boxes, and then after tough, you heal one. So, guess what aspect is always going to be open?
The Spirit, for sure.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I killed the last one in the mine, and Spirit opens up. Son of a...
Well, also, think of the transferring. I transfer to my War Beast. It takes a tough check and survives. I transfer to my War Beast again. It takes a tough check and survives. I transfer to my War Beast. It takes a tough check and survives.
Well, here's the different problem with that. Cool, your War Beast survives, but you're still taking all the spillover damage.
It's true. It's true, but I'm just saying, that could cause... that could be stupid.
Yeah. I transfer to the War Beast. I take spillover damage. The War Beast survives. Next turn, you're effed.
Yeah, really, because I still have Spirit. So I can still force him.
Well, I still have War Beast. I spent 2 Fury and suck it.
Obviously Privateer Press saw this coming.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for that.
There are plenty of things that...
Also, I'm going to do a little bit of spitting on some stuff that just came out from Privateer Press.
Ruh-roh.
if you haven't read the new novel that came out,
I need to read that.
Wrath of the Dragon Father, if you care about the fluff at all, which you should, because that makes the game 10 times more interesting, some crazy stuff goes down. If you listen to the Primecast, Toruk either gets eaten, eats another dragon, or does something else. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to read this book.
Spoilers. Kruger's an asshole.
Dude, Kruger messes everything up. This is why I'm so like convinced that Kruger is just a cocky, arrogant douchebag.
Yeah. And from what you've told me so far, it actually is worth going in and reading the League's fluff. To get a better understanding of what the heck is going on.
Yes, because it essentially builds off of the fluff of the last two
leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last two. You need to, if you read Devastation.
Yep.
If you read Reckoning, and then you read the Horde's book before Devastation, which was
Exigence.
You'll be just fine, because that kind of tells you everything you need to know. But it builds off of, because this happens essentially right after the events of Reckoning and Devastation.
Oh,
it happens within like a week.
Oh wow! Believe it or not, I haven't read Reckoning yet.
Reckoning is essentially super simple. Like, there's a big old
Khador is stupid.
There's a big old battle that goes down in the Thornwood.
Yeah.
Between like Menoth, Signar, and Khador versus Crix. They eventually end up winning because there's just too many of them. Like, that's funny. Crix get outnumbered, but it's the truth. But also
3-on-1.
But also, there's this battle that goes down between a small mixed Khadoran Signarin force and Scar is transporting something to Shard, and the Signar and Khadoran force wins, and so the Signarans are transporting this thing, and it ends up being a dragon Anthonk.
Yeah, that's an Athonk. I know that from the Horde's books.
And so
Circle,
because Circle and Everblight are both chasing the Athonk. Yeah.
Well, here's the funny thing: Circle actually defended Crix.
Yep.
Circle thought it would be better for Crix to have the Athonk than Legion get their hands on it. So they fought against Legion trying to get to Crix.
But it's entirely, but yeah. So a lot of the story bases around, this Athonk.
Yeah.
Because in Reckoning, Haley wakes up and has like all her new like I can see time.
I hate Haley's love, by the way.
And so
I think it's so stupid.
And so she's like, her and Constance Blaze are like hanging out with this Athonk, right? And you get to see there's actually some really cool interactions in the book between Haley and like her future and past self. Like her feet like comes up in the book, and like the interactions are actually really funny and really cool. But yeah, and so there's like if you read Reckoning and Devastation and Exigence, you'll be just fine on what you need to know for Wrath of the Dragon Father.
Okay.
But just be prepared for some ridiculous stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, for reals. Like,
what was that? Scar?
That's Scar from Lion King. That's right.
Green is evil.
That's correct. Green is evil. But I mean, it gets intense.
All right.
It gets intense, and
I will have to find and make time.
And I mean, really, if you want it, if you have an Amazon account and have a Kindle app, it is $5 on the Kindle store.
Oh, that's nothing.
It is $5. It's 160 pages. That's like an afternoon of reading.
Yeah.
I mean, it reads super easy because it's a novella. It's not an actual like full book.
Yeah.
So you can get it done. You can get all sorts of stuff, and it sets up for Mark III.
Alrighty.
There you go, Privateer Press. I just honked all your crap.
Skull Island Expeditions. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think with that, we can close it night. Thanks for listening to the fluff-isode of Should Have Turned Left.
From our resident fluff story in here.
I'll take it. Please like, subscribe. No promises on any suggestions until the new edition after the new edition comes around, holy cow, that's gonna be fun.
It'll be a good time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I won't be seeing y'all until sometime next fall. I'm gonna be away for a little while, so y'all enjoy MK3 without me. It'll be good.
We will. Channel's not gonna be the same.
Hey, that's all right.
By the way, I'm still looking forward to seeing that video with you and Miranda.
I have my own thoughts and opinions about that
Yeah,
video.
you haven't told me anything about it.
I haven't talked at all about it.
It's a good thing.
I have my own thoughts and opinions about it. She made a couple moves in the game that were just kind of like, why did you make that move? But it ended up being like a great move.
No.
And so I'm just sitting here like,
idiot savant type stuff, or what's going on?
Like spur of the moment deciding to shoot with Black Ivan, and just being like,
don't spoil it for.
Why would you do that? But it works out. So I mean, so yeah.
Seen her play
be looking forward to that on War Gamer Girl's channel. She'll be putting this out. My guess is it'll come out either late this.
Well, late this month she has tomorrow.
I think it should be coming out in May. Well, we filmed it like 3 weekends ago or something like that.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
It's been a little while, but it should be coming out in May sometime. It'll be a Protectorate against Kador. She's playing Harkovich. I'm playing Krios 1. Keep your eyes open for that one on her channel.
Yep.
But yeah, so.
Joys of having somebody with a much larger channel than mine in the same city.
Entirely true. And that was filmed before Mark III was announced.
Yes.
So there is absolutely no Mark III talk in that one because it was filmed before Mark III was announced. Shows you how long ago we did it.
She does a whole different style of commentary.
I mean, it's entirely true.
She and Tommy put so much more effort into editing than I'm willing to.
Oh my lord, they put so much more like effort into recording.
Yeah, that too.
Yo, I'll just say this now. She might hate me for this and never invite me back.
You're going to be gone. What do you care?
In the post-game commentary, she is standing...
Are you going to spoil it?
She is standing on a stack of textbooks. Because there was about a foot difference in height between me and her. And so for the editing to work out, it's pretty great.
Oh, that's good. Oh, man, if my camera was high enough, I'd have you stand right now.
Oh, it's pretty great. So now you all know. Now you all know. You all know what's up.
Hello, R2-D2.
Hello, R2-D2. That's correct.
All right. So for a second time. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Good night. Happy wargaming, y'all. I painted him and got done. Was just like, oh, this is a beauty. Gareth, you rather enticing individual.